Good morning to everybody. I'm Lucia Della Puta. I think that many of you already know me. So I would like to have a chat with you this morning about how to be productive and successful in your projects. I think that will help you also in your future career as a consultant, or maybe in any case in your working life. So I would like to start saying that for being successful in your project, the start is very, very important. So to set the scope of your project, it's really an important thing. And one thing that you can do is really to set a smart scope. What it is a smart scope? SMART is a criteria for setting goals and objectives in an effective way. So SMART, it is an acronym. S stands for specific and simple goal. So you have to try to set a simple and specific goal to that project, not to go too far with a too large objective. So try really to analyze your objective. Okay? This is the first point. M stands for measurable. So the goal that you set for your project must to be quantifiable, or at least try to measure the progress. Okay, so you really need to measure the progress in your project, so that it can be also something that you can use for the next project. It needs to be achievable. So don't set the goal too high, because otherwise you will have difficulties to achieve it. Okay, you will get in problems. So stay with your feet on the ground, on earth. The R is for relevant. So needed to be, your goal needs to be pertinent, needed to be with the business. So really try to understand which is also the ultimate goal for your customer. Okay. And the T, the last letter, stands for timed, or time bound, which means that you needed to define a time range, a lead time on your project, so that you will not disperse also yourself in doing many other things, and you concentrate really on the lead time of your project. So remember SMART. Nobody knows SMART criteria. Is this something new that I'm telling you?
It's new to me. I've never heard of the SMART criteria before.
SMART, simple, specific. M, measurable. A, achievable. R, relevant. And T, timed. Okay? This is very easy also to remember in the time. And this because we don't want to have a goal, as I said before, that are too high to reach, especially if it's if you are new. I mean, in project management, in dealing with projects. Don't set up your goals too high. Try to be to be, I mean, with your feet again on earth. Otherwise, as Niran would say, you only just keep swimming, okay? And instead you wanted to be effective and successful in your project. So do what you really can do, and not fix too much high goals and objectives. And especially with your customer, it's important not to promise too much, okay? He will always ask you more. So if he asks more, come back to him and say, okay, this is what I can do with my possibilities and my skills today, but I will give you maybe an answer tomorrow. If you don't know something today, if you have a question from your customer, it's not maybe good to let him know that you don't you are not prepared. Okay, but tell him I cannot give you an answer today. I will give you tomorrow. It's always good to give an answer, a positive answer to the customer. Okay. And so he's very positive to tell him honestly, I cannot give you, I don't know today the answer, but I will give you tomorrow. But tomorrow maybe is too quicker. Okay, so remember also the SMART, the T is timed. Give you enough time to make a research, to make a proposal, an answer to your customer. So don't rush, I mean, in your answers, okay? And please interact with me if you have questions or doubt on what I'm saying. I would like also to say that yes, the tea time is interesting also because sometimes if we have doubt, if we do not have an answer, if we think that we are not skilled for something, etc., we don't take the risk to go ahead in that subject, okay? We postpone it, we postpone it, and we postpone it. And so in this way, in reality, we are, I would say, not making a good impression to our customers, okay? And we will not finish our project. So we will not be successful in time with our project. So if you have a doubt, if you are facing a problem, don't hesitate to speak about that problem, that doubt with someone else. It can be one of your colleagues, it can be a member of your team, of your project team, or it can be the customer, okay? There is nothing more bad than letting the customer think that you are doing something for him and you will deliver on time your answer in your project, but in fact you are facing problems and you are not going ahead in your project. So let him know that there is a problem, let him know that there is a doubt. You needed to take out all the doubts as soon as it's possible. Don't let them run and solve only at the end, okay? Because at the end you will not have any more time to face them. So really try to fix all the problems as soon as they come to you. It's true that it's not always easy to go to your customer to say, hey, I have a problem. I don't know how to go ahead, okay? So you need to find, in any case, the proper way to face your customer and to ask him for help, ask him for more information, ask him to answer to your request. So you need to prepare, always to prepare, I mean, a conversation with your customer. A good thing is a list, okay? A list of, make a list of questions, make a list of tasks to do, to accomplish. And the list is good also, again, for managing and organizing your project. So if you are following a list of action, you will not forget any of them, okay? You will continue to keep on track on the things that you have to do for being successful and I would say to make the project in its globality. Well, I'm giving you many inputs because in fact it's true in the project there are many things to be alerted on. And a good project manager needs really to have a 30-60 degrees view on its project. on the task, on the team he's managing, on the lead time, on the technical issues, etc. Okay, so really try to be curious also in your projects, not just to focalize on one thing, but with the exercise, I would say, you will also learn to be really reactive to many different things that can happen in your project or that you are managing in your project. I don't know if there are questions already or on this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a question. I'm not sure if I understood. I'm not sure if I misunderstood. But one of the things that you mentioned was always giving your client a positive answer. For me, when I hear that, I think that that would be telling your client what they want to hear, because we associate positive with just good, and we want always our client.
You are right, Lara. Probably I didn't express myself well. Don't give a positive answer, but in a positive way. Okay? Because maybe you are always you are also giving him a bad answer because you are facing a problem. You are stuck in your project. Okay? But if you give it, if you go to him in a positive way, he will give you help and answers to continue in the project. Okay, so your communication is a very important point, I would say. So don't be negative, be positive in your communication with the customer. As I said, it is difficult for a customer not to hear and to have news of how the project is going. Okay, it's better for him to know that you are facing a problem and to be able to help you to resolve it. So I believe that this also goes not with positive communication, but also with honesty. Be honest with yourself. Okay. Not only with the customer, but be honest with yourself. Because if you are going round a problem, it's more your problem. Okay, yeah. You need to find a way how to solve the problem, and you also needed to understand that if something you don't know, you are not able to face alone, you needed to be honest to say, it's true, I needed the help of someone else. Okay, don't want to know everything. You will gain experience, expertise, I mean, with the time. Okay.
Sure. Great. I think Mahmoud had a question. I think we've got a hand up here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. You said don't overpromise to clients, right?
Yeah.
One thing my teachers used to say is in freelance you have to under-promise and over-deliver. Does that apply to consulting? And from your experience, how is that applicable?
You're right. And this is what also I wanted to say. I mean, yes, under-promise. So you will make a better performance if you promise less, but you deliver more. Yes. So it will be a surprise for your customer. And it's true, if you deliver more, the customer will be more keen to give you another project. And so it's a good thing to go with your promises step by step. Okay? So maybe it's not on the overall load of the project, of the task that you have to accomplish, where you need to minimize, but you need to take time So say your customer, okay, you are requesting A, B, C, D, but today I suggest you to start with A and B, okay? And so you will give them a delay for A and B. And then when we will see how A and B works, then we will do C and D, okay? So there
They
is
can
always
kind of
a
keep them on the hook so they work more with you.
yeah, also.
Okay, I get it. Thank you, Lucia.
Well, working as a consultant, sometimes you are working alone, okay? You can make a business alone, but you can also have your business with a team, okay? So many times with your customers, you can start from one subject that is the one that you are most expert on, okay? But going ahead with the project, if that project is successful, if you are successful, you can get a second project with the same customer in a different topic, and you can ask the intervention of one of your colleagues. Okay, so it's a teamwork also. I would like also to add something about the team. Yes, because one thing that makes a success of a project many times is not only you or only the communication you have with your customer, but as for example, for example, the project that you are dealing with, you are working in teams, okay? So the team is also a very, very important part in the success of the project. But not only the team as the expertise, the knowledge, the skills that you have in the team, but also the communication and the collaboration that you are having in the team. Okay, we have already spoken about the team management. So yes, the team manager is a key person because he needs to communicate technically with the team. He needs to communicate about the lead times, about the requirements, about the norms, about many, many different things. Okay, and he is the first one who needs to have a positive communication with the team. Sometimes there are people in the team which does not have time to work on the team. Okay, he needs to be the first one to realize that there is a problem with someone that does not have time or does not deliver on time what is expected by the team. Okay, if there is a bad communication between two people in the team, he is also the one that needs to look at that problem and facing that problem with the two people that are not communicating well between them. Okay, because otherwise the overall, I would say, atmosphere in the team will degrade. So communication is important at all levels, I would say. It's very important with the customer, but it is important also within the team. I have a fresh, I would say, example about the communication in one of my team, because I was expecting yesterday a first presentation by different teams that I lead, okay? And one of them, a sub-team in a team, I would say, didn't present anything. They were saying, in reality, that they found a lot of information and papers about one of the subjects that they had to explore. But they couldn't open any of those articles, of those informations that they were finding, okay? So my impression, maybe the impression of also of someone else in the team, was that, well, okay, so they were stuck, and why they didn't ask for help? Well, maybe they already spent all the time for making that research, and they really found a lot of paper, okay? But in 1 week, yes, I was expecting that they could read some of them, and instead, no. So my point is that if they could work really in a team, if they had communicated with the rest of their team, they could have found in advance, faster, the solution to their problem. They didn't have access to those articles, they couldn't open them, but there were someone else in their team who could have access, okay? So this is why I'm saying communication is always important, because otherwise you can get in trouble, you can get in difficulties, and you can hold back the entire project, okay? So to be really successful in the project, again, communication at all levels. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't know something, can you help me? Or, hey, I have a problem, can you help me? Okay? A team is a team because we can share our difficulties, and we can find together solution to a problem. Any other questions?
Yeah, we do. We've got a question from Razan. Put your hand up.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Lucia. I'm asking, you just mentioned that if the communication is important, and I totally agree with you. Whenever any idea comes to my mind, I always share it, even if it's silly or anything. I just share everything that I know. And since you spoke about the team, and what if some members of the team not cooperative or not excited enough? What to do in this case? Though you are trying to encourage them, you are trying to support them, to be with them, to help them, even when you yourself doesn't have the enough experience. So that's it. Thank you.
Yes, it's not always easy to deal with a team. Well, at a certain point in life, we expected that everybody is professional. We spoke about honesty. I would say also that we needed to have a second characteristic or a second attitude, which is professionalism, okay? So yes, we expected that everybody is professional. But it's true, many times we can lack of understanding, we can lack of motivation, and sometimes then in a team the communication can be harsh, can be difficult. And we have the impression that we are not going ahead, that we are only facing problems. So again, the project manager is one of the key, okay? There are other people eventually in the company that can help, like, for example, also the HR, human resources managers. But I think, and from my experience, I could always deal by myself with this kind of problems. So you can discuss of the problem with the team if you think that is possible, okay? Otherwise, you have to really face-to-face to deal with the person face-to-face. Well, initially you try in any case with a good manner to face the problem, and to say, yes, please, I understand, well, I realized that you are lacking of motivation. Can you tell me more? Can we speak about that together? Maybe I can solve your problem. So you really need to try to speak with that person face to face, okay, calmly, telling him or her that you are able, or you are willing, in any case, to help her, okay? And so the best thing is to do is really to try to have a communication, to lead with, to manage with this person together, to find a solution together. If the situation becomes difficult, then really you need maybe an external help. But sincerely, for myself, I could really always have the solution. Sometimes you realize that the task that you have given to someone in your team are not really for him or her, not because the lacking of experience, the lacking of skills, technical skills, but maybe for lacking of experience in working in a project and in a team, and in a structured way. Okay, so give him a try, give him her a second try. Okay, and maybe you need also to explain him or her the tools that you are asking them to use, because sometimes they are not used to utilize them, and so they need to make an exercise and to have an extra explanations.
Thank you, Lucia. We have a question from Noreen. Noreen, go ahead.
Noreen.
Noreen.
Hi, I couldn't open the mic. I wanted to ask that our group decided to switch the rules every week. So the project manager isn't always fixed on someone. Every week we'll switch the rules, okay? Just after listening to your advices, how could we do this effectively while switching the rules? I mean, it kind of be challenging or messy. So yeah.
Challenging, I don't know if I understood well your question, but I would say that anyway, challenging continuously the rules is not a good way to advance, okay, to go ahead. If you have already experienced once, 2, 3 times that way is not working, okay, try another way. But if it is the first time and you wanted to change because something does not work, don't change immediately. Give a second try. Okay, it's not a good way if you change continuously.
No, it's because our consultant, he told us to switch the rules because of us to experience more, and we try to have different. You got me.
Okay, so in this case, I would say trust the consultant, because he has more experience than you, and you are still in the student mood. I mean, okay, in the student path. So you are still learning. Okay. So yes, give a trial with a second way to do it. In that case, yes, I would say experience what your consultant is saying.
And I think, if I might say, you can reach out to your consultant and ask him questions.
Yeah.
If you have any problem.
In fact, I was speaking about project manager. Yes, today we nominated some project managers, but maybe they are new also in their role, okay? So they are not experienced. So they can ask to us, the consultant, if there is another way or what they would have done in a certain situation, okay?
Thank you, Lucia. We have another question from Muhammad. Go ahead, Muhammad.
Yeah, thank you, Mshari. Thank you also, Lucia, for your informative. I just want to ask, stakeholder management is one from the most important process during the project management. So how I can make sure that every stakeholder is effectively engagement in the project?
Okay. Well, This is, I would say, something that we really need to suppose that they are engaged, okay? And so normally we start a project and we go ahead for a certain time, supposing this, okay? One thing that you should do is from time to time to make really meetings and discussion and presentation with them, with all of them, so that you really see the interest if it's still there. It's the only way in reality you can really check continuously to invite them, I mean, in meetings with you and presentation and conversation with you to check, I mean, if they are engaged or not in the project.
Thank you, Lucia.
Thank you.
You guys have another question? Let me check. Okay, we have a question from Ahmed. Ahmed, go ahead, please.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I don't have questions. I just want to add something about what happened to me like last case with my group. First week we meet like we didn't know anyone. Second week we meet also we didn't know anyone, and we meet a lot. We didn't know like anyone like background. Since we made like a meeting with my colleague and with my spark, I asked them to just like make a meeting just for knowing each other. Then we ask our Gary to organize our like task. So after that, like they said to me, like, you know what, it's difficult to know each one task. So I volunteered to make a document that show the task for each one, like a group meeting, minutes I called it. So just someone like charge for record and write in a paper what the task right now, what will gonna be task next week. So these kind of tools will organize the project. The other document will talk about the consulting. I mean the client and what he need, what he ask, what kind of tools we use. So that's really helpful right now.
You mean creating
a result?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. You mean creating project plan?
It's already we have a project plan right now.
Okay, cool.
But we need to creating like some skills that they gain like the member to work in the same page. So some people they said to me like, don't put me like in a bag. I don't know what's in a bag. They said like I don't have an experience in the IT. I don't have experience in the. So when we meet and know each other like background, we understand what kind of task maybe he can fit in. So that will be great to know your member, know like what the best way to use. Right now I use like we agreed to use like a document that is like just recorded to agree like everyone like, you know, what tasks need when the deadline of the task. So that will be great. We have a time consuming. I think it's simple and easy, and it's very like helpful for us.
Okay, I just want to ask, do you feel that you know your teammates better now, or are you still in the process of getting to know them?
Well, you know what I do? As I consulting, I ask some like other teams, what do you feel about your teams? I get same question. We have same problem, blah blah blah, and I said, okay, and I resolve it by myself. And right now, I know like more. I know more about my team, and because you know what happened when we meet the client asks about the team. What's your background? And we don't know about each one like background educations. So that will be like, you know what, a big questions. So what I did, I just like, you know what, I meet with them and we talk like 3 times. Some people didn't attend the meeting because they have exam. And we give him like we record like the video for them. We ask anyone who didn't know about any Anything they just like send any question in the group meeting, someone will get answer. You know, we made like some collaborative work. It's called group dynamic.
It's true that when we are working with the team, it's good to know the team first. Well, I led for many years groups of research engineers or technicians, etc. And it's true that it's very important to know the competencies and the skills of everybody to put them in the correct project. Okay.
That's true.
So yes, this is something that you experienced in this project. You didn't know each other, so the best thing it would have been, yes, to have sometimes to know each other. There is another difficulties for you today that you cannot meet in person, so you only have to meet by video. Okay, this does not really help communication. This does not really help. Because you don't have enough time. Maybe you cannot see the face of the people. Okay, it's true that to know each other works better. And sometimes in enterprises we do also a time off. To know each other, we give time to the people to know each other, making some extra meeting outside, just on Friday evening, maybe around a beer, something like that. We don't know. You cannot do it anymore in reality. But I mean, it's also a way to know better each other without going friend, I would say, okay, but really like only to know better the people with whom we are working.
I agree with you. Like in this point, really, like we have to know each other, and we have to like help each other because some group member they have like some stress, some like hard work, some like test,
Yeah.
but we have to know like like we have like now starting like since the project. There's some people they didn't read the task, they didn't read what the client need, so we try our best to achieve our goal and help like the team they have stress and a lot of work.
And you know, this hour that Lara also organized for us, for you, for me also, to discuss together, is also a good thing to know each other. Not just to know about different subjects, but really to know each other, to see who interacts more, who interacts less, which kind of questions and which kind of things that we need to know. Okay, so these are really good occasions, I would say.
Well, thank you very much, Ahmed, for sharing your experience. Do you guys have another question?
I have a question for Ahmed.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Ahmed, if you allow me to ask you, are the meetings you do with your team, are they just to like casual meetings to know each other, or are they to discuss the project, or both?
Well, you know what? There's nothing different between both. So since we are like in a group project, we have to know each other like in the way that they think, in the way that they understand the project. So about the education, the background, about that what they like, what they don't like. Some people say, you know what, I don't like to meet too much. Like in 1 week we meet like 3 times. No, I said, yeah, okay, I agree with you because you know what, I have like other tasks to do. The other guys say, you know what, I'm gonna just meet like every day. So we just make up like all the thought like in one page. What I did, I just made what it's simple. I just made what's a problem for my group? How can I organize it? I meet like every person like in my group. I ask them question. I do like survey. It's just for me, and just for me. Like I just want to solve it. So if I want to start like solving the client problem, I have to first solve like my internal problem, which is like my group. So I solve it like, you know what? I made like for them like a time minute, a time minute. The time minute, what they have the time minute, the project, the task, who charge for writing the time minute. Like I mean, like recording the note, make a note like for meeting. For each meeting, someone sit and just write a note, what the group discuss about. In this way, we understand like each one like goal, understand each one idea, and depending on their education, we share the task. So since you are IT, okay, can you brought something about software, blah blah blah. Since you are like I international business management student, can you brought like what's like a waterfall models and how we connect it with this models. In this way, we we work together. It's literally we're gonna be like in the same page.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
amazing. I think that's amazing. I've never thought trying that with my team. I mean, I don't know anything about them on a personal level. We don't know anything about each other. We only discuss the project and the project only. So I was a bit surprised that you guys do that. I'm gonna try that. Thank you, Ahmed.
No
And
problem.
actually, and speaking of that, I would like to add one more thing. You guys, between you as a team, you can speak in Arabic if you don't have a consultant or something else. That would actually, make you more interactive
That's right.
Yeah.
and engaged.
That will be a
engaging.
great idea actually, and we were looking forward like maybe if they my group, some of my group doesn't like speaking Arabic while we're meeting, so some people said okay, no, it's fine, but that will be a
Well,
great idea actually. That will be a
yeah.
great idea.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you,
No
guys.
problem.
I think I saw some raised hand. Someone is raised hand.
Lucia has a raised hand.
Okay.
I would, well, we spoke about the roles, we spoke about the communication, we spoke also about organization, yes. And one thing that you can also experiment when you are working on teams and with your teams is also to give them a role in the meeting. So someone that needs to prepare the meeting schedule, okay? Someone who will lead the meeting, someone who will take notes, someone who will take care of the time, okay? Because at certain time we needed to stop about speaking about the subject and we needed to move to another one. So try to give roles to everybody. And the next time you will change the roles so that everybody will also experiment different roles since you are
Yeah,
learning, okay?
that's really a great idea. That's what we do. Like, you know what? It's called like group dynamic, and that's really very, very like grateful because you gain skills. Like if I'm right now recording meeting, so next week we're gonna be like a project chart like by the task between my team. So every week or every week we have like other position. That will be like really like grateful. I agree with you actually. I like your idea. I will gonna ask my group about that. That will be like great idea.
That's amazing, guys. I think we have a question from Shadin.
Hello.
Hello, Shadin.
My question is the SMART measurable. If one of the letters is missing or like I couldn't do it, is the project going to be successful and productive also, or I have like to accomplish all of the SMART?
Okay. No, as much as you can fulfill of the SMART, the best, the more successful you will be. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there are 5 letters in SMART. Try to be simple, try to be measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed. If you fulfill really every of these, you will have a certain success. If you, for example, you will not be on time, you will still have a success in the sense that you will finish your project, okay? It will be well done, technically correct, etc. But for your customer, maybe it's not, well, he will not come back to you a second time because you deliver it 1 month later, okay? This is why really try to fulfill all of them.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, awesome.
Well,
I think gone through the questions. I don't think there are any more questions in the chat. I don't think. Thank you so much, Lucia, for your time. Anyone else just before we wrap this up? Whilst we've got Lucia all to ourselves.
We have Ali. He just raised his hand.
Go for it.
yes, Ali, go ahead. Ali?
Wait.
Okay.
Wait, just to turn my camera, wait.
Okay. Take your time.
Russia.
Welcome, Ali.
Attitude to have in your project.
No.
Russia, take time.
Close my camera.
Time allocated.
Okay.
Ali, what are you doing?
Okay. Sorry, but I think it was just a little bit mistake. Sorry for that. But
Yeah,
I have
it's
a
okay.
question very important.
Yeah.
You know,
Ali, you're the French speaker.
yeah, oui, très bien. You know, we think it's really a good idea if, like, if we are, like, for example, an international organization, we speak in different language.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Do you think now, if we are like an international language, if we are international organization, we can use different language, like for example, the French, Spanish, Italian, German, Chinese, and like that. Because I would like to have like exchange languages in everywhere.
Ali, do you mean multi-language national firm? Could you please explain the question?
Yes, I think it's really a nice idea. If I was working in an international organization, I use with different languages, for example, French, Spanish, Italian, German, or Chinese, or different language, like exchange language. Do you think really is a great idea?
I give you an answer. I worked for an American companies for many years, okay? But in our R&D, there were German, French people, Spanish, English speaker, and me who was Italian, okay?
Okay.
So in the R&D team, we were from time to time speaking other languages. I was speaking, for example, in Spanish with another girl, okay? With the German, we were speaking in English. So we were speaking in different languages. But when we had to communicate with the customer, when we had to communicate outside of our R&D team, for example, with marketing or with production, etc., we had to speak French, okay? Because the environment was in French.
Très bien.
Donc,
Très bien, oui. You know, I think really language now is very important because, you know, it's I see it's the face of the future too, language now, right now in this generation.
So it's a good point to know different languages. I have the occasion to speak with the English speaker customer, with the German speaker customer, with Italian speaker customer, okay? And luckily, I know the language. Well, for the German, no, in reality, we had to speak in English, okay? I don't know German. But it's important also, if you know another language, to speak in the language of the customer as much as you can, okay? Because it's something that you show him you are able to do, you are keen to do, okay? Well, for certain, there should be a good level of comprehension, because otherwise there could be problems, okay, in leading the project and leading conversation. But if you have a good level of language, yes, speak the language of your customer.
Yeah, that's you're right. That's a really good idea.
Well, thank you, Ali. Thank you,
You're
Lucia.
welcome,
We
guys.
have a question from Lujane Dorian. Lujane, go ahead, please.
Yes, hi everyone. My question is, when I become a consultant, what is my role and responsibility? Is it just give a client a plan and solve problem strategy, or with instruct them to service provider or technology company?
Well, it depends really on the business you are on, okay? Because you can be a consultant in a specific matter or a more wide consultant. But usually, when you work for a customer, you agree on a project, you agree on a scope, you agree on a environment, okay, where to move and not to go farther ahead or behind those limits, okay? Because also it could be dangerous for you in reality if you go beyond, because at a certain point you will not be able to give any more answers to your customer, okay? So this is why we go back, I would say, to the first S, to the scope. Try really to limit your scope. It will be safer, it will be better for you.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Lujane.
Guys, yeah, we've gone well over time here, but that's fine. The more questions, the better. I think I'm glad that we've had quite a bit of engagement on this call. Thanks again, Lucia. I don't know if there's any other questions from anyone. Not today, but Lucia, you said that you were happy next week. We can have another call with you. We'll have another chat, and it can be a similar topic. So
for the moment, just keep in mind, be smart.
Be smart. Awesome. Thanks so much, Lucia, and thank you everyone for coming to the chat and for interacting. And Sparks on the call, thank you for helping with that.